Do you know where ketchup comes from? It's a question that might catch you off guard. The answer lies not in a tomato field, but in the bustling markets of 17th century China. There, a fish sauce called ketchup was a staple of the local cuisine. This was not the sweet and tangy tomato-based condiment we know today, but a savory blend of pickled fish and spices. British traders, ever the adventurous palates, discovered this sauce during their voyages and brought it back to England. But the British, with their knack for reinvention, didn't leave the sauce as it was. Oh no, they added their own twists to it. Mushrooms, walnuts, and sometimes even anchovies were stirred into the mix. This was the birth of the condiment that would eventually evolve into the ketchup we know and love. So the first versions of ketchup were quite a departure from what we slather on our burgers today. But when did ketchup become the tomato-based sauce we all know and love? Well, let's take a journey to the early 19th century in America. Tomatoes, a New World plant, were seen with skepticism and even feared as poisonous. Yet their vibrant red allure was too tempting to resist for one man, James Meese, a Philadelphia scientist. Meese saw beyond the fear and the folklore. He saw potential and taste, and he wasn't afraid to experiment. He began to develop a recipe that would transform the humble tomato into the staple condiment we know today. His concoction was a mixture of tomatoes, brandy, and spices, a far cry from the fish-based sauces of yesteryears. Despite initial public skepticism about tomatoes being poisonous, Meese's recipe slowly but surely won over the hearts, or rather, the taste buds of the American public. So the ketchup we know today is actually a relatively recent invention. Ever wonder how ketchup became so popular worldwide? Cue Henry John Heinz, the man who played an instrumental role in the commercial production of ketchup in the late 19th century. Heinz wasn't just a businessman, he was an innovator. He saw the potential in this tangy tomato condiment, but he knew it needed a few tweaks. Heinz introduced vinegar to the ketchup recipe, extending its shelf life and making it a viable product for mass production and distribution. But he didn't stop there. Heinz also believed in the power of transparency. Quite literally, he pioneered the use of clear glass bottles for his ketchup, allowing customers to see the purity of the product they were buying. His innovative approach to product development and marketing transformed this humble sauce into a household staple around the globe. And that's how ketchup went from a humble fish sauce to a global phenomenon, all thanks to a bit of ingenuity and a lot of tomatoes.